Welcome, young explorers and lifelong learners, to today's absolutely incredible explainer. We've packed this one with more and more amazing photos and scenes than ever before because we are unpacking a truly epic, super long adventure of bravery, quick thinking, and friendship. We're going to be exploring the magical world of Lulu, a brilliant little girl, and her absolute best friend, Fulfula, who, just so happens to be a super smart ant. As Fulfula herself might say if she were here, don't forget to open your eyes and ears for this one. So get comfortable because we are about to shrink way, way down and embark on the Great Garden Rescue Adventure. Our story kicks off with a massive, literally heart-pounding problem. I want you to picture this. It's the day after a really heavy rainstorm. At the very end of the garden, a huge puddle has basically turned into a rushing river. And right in the middle of it, an entire family of tiny baby turtles is completely trapped on this floating island of grass. And to make matters worse, the wind is blowing them directly toward the terrifying, roaring sewage waterfall. If they go over that edge, they're swept away from the garden forever. So, the big question we are answering today is, can Lulu save them in time?
Chapter 1: The Pond Crisis and Lulu Shrinks. Okay, so the day started out pretty gloomy. Lulu was just waiting under the berry tree when Fulfula the ant comes rushing in, completely out of breath, carrying the terrible news about this floating island. Now Lulu knows she can't reach the pond at her normal human size without squishing half the garden, so she bravely reaches for her magical silver jasmine powder. Zoom, the whole world around her shoots up into the sky. The normal grass turns into a towering bamboo forest. Lulu has actually shrunk down to the size of a bug.
Okay, let's dive into this timeline because it's absolutely crucial. Look at this ticking clock. For a normal human, getting across the garden is just a few steps. But for a bug-sized Lulu and Fulfula, we're talking about a trek across an entire continent. They leave the berry tree at 10 a.m. They have to navigate the super dangerous rocky path by 10:15, reach the flooded pond by 10:30, and somehow rescue those turtles before that grass island hits the sewage waterfall at exactly 10:45. It is a literal race against the clock. As they're running, they actually run into Uncle Snail. And in a very, very slow voice, he tries to warn them, saying the road is not safe. But they just don't have time to wait for him to finish. And, well, they pretty quickly find out why. 3 giant wasps are buzzing fiercely over the rocky path. Lulu and Fulfula have to hide breathlessly under a dry leaf until that terrifying buzzing finally fades away. Fulfula is just shaking with fear, totally amazed at Lulu's bravery. But Lulu drops this absolutely beautiful, bite-sized piece of wisdom. She says, courage isn't not being afraid, it's doing the right thing even when you are afraid.
Chapter 2: Sailing and Facing Captain Glove. So when they finally reach the pond, it doesn't look like a puddle anymore, not even close. To our miniature heroes, it literally looks like the giant, scary Atlantic Ocean. And right in the middle of those crashing, choppy waves is the grassy island. They can actually hear the tiny turtles crying for help. But ants can't swim in waves like this, and neither can a bug-sized Lulu. They need a boat, and they need it right this second. Looking around, Lulu's brilliant mind goes straight to work. She spots a large, dry sycamore leaf, perfectly curved just like a ship's hull. But a ship needs oars, right? So she finds 2 thin wooden matchsticks lying in the dirt. Working together, pushing with literally all their tiny might, they drag the heavy leaf into the water, grab their matchstick oars, and start paddling furiously against the heavy current. Left, right, left, right. Just as they're finally making some progress, something massive bubbles up from the deep. 2 giant bulging eyes breach the surface of the water. It's Captain Glove, the absolute biggest, greenest frog in the entire pond. And in this booming, croaking voice that literally shakes their little leaf boat, he demands, "Who dares enter my pond without permission? Are you tasty food?" This is exactly where Lulu's steady bravery really shines again. Standing tall on her wobbly leaf, she looks this giant frog right in the eye. She tells him point blank that they aren't food, they're garden heroes on a desperate mission to save the baby turtles from the waterfall. Captain Glove pauses for a second, and then just laughs a deep, booming laugh. He absolutely loves her honesty and her courage. Plus, the turtles are his neighbors. So he tells them to hop on his back, knowing he's going to be way, way faster than their leaf. Chapter 3: Turtle Rescue and the Storm. By now, the roar of the waterfall is getting deafening. But with Lulu and Fulfula holding tight to his slippery green back, Captain Glove uses his massive back legs to kick. He just slices through the water like a jet speedboat, blasting right past the crashing waves and heading straight for the crumbling grass island. The island is practically at the edge of the waterfall. Falfala and Lulu reach out, yelling for the turtles to grab their hands. One by one, they heave the terrified baby turtles onto the frog's broad back. It's such an intense, heart-pounding sequence. And just as they pull the very last baby turtle aboard, Captain Glove leaps backward with all his might. Right below them, the empty grass island plummets over the edge into the dark sewage abyss. They actually did it! But just as they breathe a sigh of relief, boom! The sky cracks wide open. A massive, totally unexpected rainstorm strikes the garden. Now for a human, it's just a bit of rain. But for our tiny crew, drops the size of bowling balls are crashing down all around them. The water churns wildly. A massive wave rises up and smashes into Captain Glove, washing the whole crew away into the dark, unexplored corners of the garden, the Valley of Creeping Shadows. Chapter 4. Serpento the Worm's Riddle. They wash ashore in this dark, freezing, and incredibly spooky place. They're completely lost. Suddenly, a soft, terrifying hissing sound echoes from the dark, asking who visits his dark kingdom without asking. It's Serpento! To a regular human, he's just an earthworm, but to Lulu and the turtles, he is a giant, towering serpent. And Serpento won't just tell them the way out for free. He demands a toll. If they can solve his riddle, he'll show them a secret tunnel to safety. But if they fail, they serve his dark garden forever. Now what's really interesting about this slide is the riddle itself. Listen closely as Serpento slithers near and hisses it out. I have many legs, but I do not walk. I only walk when others ride me. What am I? Take a second. Do you know the answer? Shout it out if you do. Did you guess it? Lulu thinks hard. Many legs, doesn't walk. Oh, the teeth of a comb look exactly like tiny legs, and it only moves when it's riding through someone's hair. It's a comb, Lulu declares. Serpento is completely stunned by her quick human intelligence. And true to his word, he points them toward a hidden mud tunnel, tucked right beneath a giant tree root. Chapter 5. Power of Unity and Survival. The danger definitely isn't over yet. As they're crawling through this dark, damp tunnel, the heavy rain up above causes the muddy ceiling to shudder. With a terrifying rumble, a giant rock collapses right behind them, completely sealing off the exit. They're trapped in the pitch black, and freezing water is rapidly starting to rise right around their ankles. Panic is definitely starting to set in. So the crucial point here is how they actually respond to this ultimate test. They don't give up. Fafula the ant, who basically knows everything about digging dirt, takes charge as the director. She sets up this brilliant 3-step plan of absolute unity. Step 1, Captain Glove uses his incredibly powerful hind legs to push against the rock. Step 2, the baby turtles use their sharp little shells to dig at the mud around the base. Step 3, Lulu jams her matchstick under the rock to use as a lever. On the count of 3, they all push with literally everything they have. Crack! The mud shatters. Golden, warm sunlight comes flooding straight into the dark tunnel. They burst out onto the soft green grass of the main garden. The storm has entirely passed, and waiting right there for them are the mother turtles, crying tears of absolute joy as their babies run right into their arms. The turtle mom turns to Lulu, Fulfula, and Captain Glove and delivers this truly powerful lesson to our heroes. She says, "Thank you, garden heroes. Your courage and unity saved our children." See, it wasn't just bravery that saved the day. It was their intelligence, their problem solving, and most importantly, how they all worked perfectly together as one united force against the dark storm. With the mission finally accomplished, Lulu notices her hands are getting bigger. The magic of the silver jasmine powder is actually wearing off. She waves a loving goodbye to Fulfula, Captain Glove, and the turtles. With a massive zoom, she shoots back up, up, up into the sky, returning to her normal human size. She sits down on the grass, just smiling, realizing just how vast and amazingly complex the hidden world beneath her feet truly is. And that brings us to the end of this incredible explainer. Lulu and Falfala proved that no matter how small you are, courage, quick thinking, and teamwork can overcome absolutely any obstacle in your path. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to carry with you today. Look at the world around you. How will you use your own courage and teamwork to help someone today? Think about it, talk about it, and go be a hero in your own garden. See you next time.